Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Friday Flow, formerly Flow and Rally. We have rebranded for all tens of you out there watching. We just want to welcome you to the newly rebranded Friday Flow. Today, Will will not be joining us. He is in London, but I have two very special guests with me this week. I have Logan and Richard, also former customers of WoFlow, now crushing it on the team. Love it. Welcome, guys. Welcome to this week's pod.
Thanks for having us, Jordan.
Thank you. You know, when Nick was recruiting me to the team, the very first thing I told him was, if I join Friday Flow, I need to be there. And
Yes.
Clearly he made it happen. So, yeah, it's an honor. It's true honor.
I saw it in the contract, so I followed through with it. Good. We're good to go. Awesome. Well, thank you guys both so much for joining this week. It's going to be an awesome Friday Flow. Here we go. Ooh, sounds good.
Nice.
I like it.
That's a tagline.
Cool. Starting off today, as always, we always start with some form of AI art. This week, we're going to start off with some AI tattoo art, which I've discovered. It's called Tattoos AI. Very cool. It's using the exact same underlying model that I've been showing the last couple of weeks. And I was going to do a real-time one and show you like me generating one, but then I realized I ran out of free credits. So I'm not going to do that, but it does let me show you the ones I already generated. And so I'll show you some of these. They're kind of dumb. They always have to do with sloths and like martinis and fish and stuff. So let's see, this one was, I believe this one was Sloth playing soccer. Like didn't really nail it. Probably wouldn't get that as a tattoo, but I tried it again and it's a little better, kind of funky. And let's go down. This one was kind of fun. Fish drinking martini. That one I might get.
Right there.
It's kind of sick.
I might get. One of my biggest things about bringing this up every week, it might not happen every week, but there's a lot of applications for this, right? It's like the second it came out, this technology really only came out open source like a few weeks ago, maybe months ago. And so it's caught on. There's just so many applications for this. So I like to keep bringing it up. It's kind of fun. I guess, like, what do you guys think? Where can this go? I don't know. Also, would you get this tattoo?
Yeah. First question, do either of you guys have tattoos? Is this a personal matter? Or?
I'll put this
I do not have a tattoo, so this is very cool software, but like I just don't know. Like, would I let an AI generated machine like create a tattoo for me that I would use? I don't know. I don't have one. Do either of you guys?
I don't have tattoos. I want to get tattoos for sure. If no one else has used AI to generate a tattoo, then I want to be the first one. So
I guarantee you would not be the first one. But I do have one. It's on a part of my it's on like basically my outer leg area. It's a happy face. It's stupid. So honestly, I would probably let AI make a tattoo for me, just because it's got to be better than one I already have.
You know that like dolly feature that like you have the photo, but then you give it like 3 inches on each side to then fill out. What if you did that for tattoos? So you started with a smiley face and you just gradually let AI fill out like a whole sleeve.
Ooh,
that would be pretty sick.
I'd do it.
Yeah,
I would do it.
Good.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, Jordan, on do you think like this is good or not? I think one thing that's been proven is people love when decisions are made for them, whether they, especially consumers. So, as this technology gets better and better, I think there's an immense amount of applications because people generally like it when options are laid out for them rather than them having to create it out of thin air, right? So I think it's going to be a lot of applications.
I agree. Continuing down this route, though, of AI, not tattoos, but just AI art in general, there's a new theme out there It's how do you create the best prompts to generate the art for AI? And so one of these applications that has come out this week is Prompt Hero, and it's exploring the world's best AI prompts. So instead of some weird ones on here for sure, but instead of just going in blind, you can actually look at other people's prompts and say, oh yeah, this looks pretty cool. Maybe I can like work off of this prompt and kind of change it. So it's kind of becoming a new marketplace, if you will. It's like you're not buying code, you're not buying applications. You're basically buying prompts that you feed into these models. It's kind of ridiculous. But yeah, some of them are cool, some of them aren't. I have seen some other marketplaces that are selling them, which is kind of weird. Like you can buy prompts that help you make better AI art. I don't quite get it. But, you know, I guess there's a marketplace for everything. A highly detailed photograph of Frida Kahlo as a Mexican astronaut on the moon, half in shadow, half in full sunlight. I mean, you don't get much more specific than that. It kind of nailed it.
Yeah, it's kind of sick. I don't know if that looks like Frida Kahlo, though, so.
Well, it's highly realistic, you know. Who knows? Who knows? All right, next up, we got Bloomingdales. What's going on with Bloomingdales? They have gone all in on the metaverse. So they've created a virtual store in the metaverse. Have you guys ever shopped in the metaverse? Do you guys metaverse? Do you guys even metaverse?
Before you sent this, the answer was no. Let me ask you, did anyone try this?
I did not, no.
All right. It is it's a trip. It's a silly experience. Let's just put it that way. I went through the Bloomingverse, and
Bloomingverse.
I was struggling with understanding what they're going for here, to be honest. Did
you buy anything?
I didn't buy anything. Like, I don't know if I'm able to. I might be just ruining the whole plan here, but if I took a bunch of screenshots of the process. I don't know if I can share my screen or not, if that just completely throws the thing off, but it's wild. It's like, it's a store that's in the clouds. At one point, you take a subway, like a real subway, to get to another part of the store, and you just sit in the subway for like 30 seconds, because I guess that's what people want.
Speaking of hyper realistic, that is hyper realistic.
There's like a game within it, so there's like achievements you unlock. You have to like find things in the store, which lets you go to other parts of the store. So it's I don't know what they're going for with this, to be honest, but I don't know. Maybe that's what people want. People want like a battle pass for shopping.
For shopping. Let me ask you this: how detailed were the products that they were selling?
Like, it was basically. Yeah, it's like if you go on Zillow and you want to look at an apartment and you get like the 3D view and you kind of get that like interactive. It's just a bunch of pictures of the place, but you can click through. That's what it was. It wasn't like a VR headset or anything like that. It was basically that like 3D view that moves you around, and then you click on something and then the product information comes up on the screen. I was quite underwhelmed, and I'm sure they spent a lot of money on this. So
I'm guessing.
The hot take there. Here we go.
Yeah.
This is my sort of maybe the frustration between what I like virtual stores to be and what I feel like they are now, is that the more virtual shopping becomes, virtual meaning like more meta, right? The more we're removed from like the actual raw materials. So like what you experience pre-consumer or pre-consumption and post-consumption, that widens. So, you know, now when you're at least shopping in person, you can tell it's genuine leather. This gold is, you know, like gold plated, what have you. I think the more you just make it this like experiential shopping experience, the less you really care, maybe, or maybe they want you to care. Maybe they want you to care less about like what is actually being sold. Even if you like dress it up a bunch, at the end of the day, it's still just, like you said, you click on it, it's just like a slideshow, like a description. I feel like what it could be. Yeah. What do you think?
No.
What do you think?
I was actually gonna share a quick experience one of my first jobs was at a company called Shop It To Me, and they were experimenting with a product that has since been created by many other companies. But we were wondering how you can transfer the experience of shopping online to IRL. And so we actually spent a lot of time in Nordstrom, like just creeping around and like watching people shop. And yeah, one of the major things we discovered is like people just walk around and touch everything, like literally everything, even though they're not going to buy it. They're just like walking around, they'll just like touch all the fabric. It's a big part of the shopping experience, and so it was something we couldn't really create that experience online. So we'd end up having to just send them a ton of things. We did like a try it before you buy it, 10 years before try it before you buy it actually came out. Didn't succeed, but it was interesting. But yeah, you're totally right. It's just it's a totally different experience, right? It's not the same.
Imagine though, like the flip side of the experience now, where it's like you're maybe like literally speaking, we cannot feel the material, but maybe now you can double click virtually, and now you are in the metaverse of their manufacturer, right? So it's a way to like bridge this notion of authenticity or transparency, where beforehand, it's just a badge on their e-commerce website. So I feel
damn,
I feel like we're kind of building the wrong way. Not,
Guys, I got it. You guys ever been to Disney World and they would have the 4D movie experience where they got like water shooting out of the ground when you're watching a movie? Maybe we just create pods that you put the headset on, and when you're touching the fabric, like a scent gets shot into the pod. Or there you go.
I like it.
Take some learnings from Disney World, and Bloomingdales can upgrade their metaverse. We have solved it.
I like it.
Good job, team.
Love it. I've never been to Disney World, but or maybe I have, but I was probably like 4. All right.
Yeah, I went like last week. It was sick. Yeah.
Enough of Bloomingdales. We're going in right for big news. iPhone 14. I was talking about earlier. I didn't get to do too much research on it. It's not as much as I would have liked, but I'm going to buy one because I have an iPhone 10 and I get made fun of all the time. So I'm definitely I'm leaning in hard on an iPhone 14. But guys, tell me why? Why do I need it?
I got you. All right, just scroll down a little bit. Let's see that first paragraph here. Okay. All right, this is all you need to know about the iPhone 14. If you look at the second sentence in the first paragraph, the new phone draws inspiration from the iPhone 13. That, my friend, is, I think, all you need to know about this phone. And I think that they just copy and paste that. Every time they release a phone, they just re-copy and paste that and use the previous generation. So
interesting.
And I'm going to buy this phone, just so everyone knows.
Because of this one line. The one thing I did hear about it, and I don't remember if it's in this article or somewhere else, but they're going to have an ability for you to keep your lock screen on all the time. So your lock screen just never goes off. So your lock screen, instead of it just going black, it actually just stays on, and it does a 1 second refresh as opposed to like the thousands of times per second refresh. So it actually, in the long run, it actually conserves your battery life if you are one of those people that kind of check your phone all the time. That's what they said. Again, I don't remember what article I read this in, but it is something that I read about, and I've seen a couple applications come out that are going to be working towards like improving your lock screen because it is going to be on all the time. It's kind of like your Apple Watch, that's on all the time, and you're always or you have like an interesting face on it. I'm assuming that'll start to become popular on the iPhones, but that's about all I've read into on it. Still buying it.
Unfortunately, I don't have an opinion because I have an iPhone 13 Pro. So see you in a few years.
Yeah, I was gonna say, talk to me in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Anything else on the iPhone? It's a big deal, but
I'm such a conditioned Apple consumer now that they could release anything, and I'm in now. They've trained me. They've Pavlov's dogged me. I'm in.
Yeah, that's their specialty. So
yep.
You're not alone. On to, I kind of like this one, called Convolo Dialer. The reason I like it is because we've worked at implementing a phone system, like an outbound dialer system at Lowflow once. And so I've kind of seen the ins and outs of how complicated this is. I don't 100% get like all the use cases for this. This seems to be more of like an outbound sales system. But it's quite interesting. It basically allows you to dial out hundreds of different numbers, and when they pick up on their side, it automatically dials into you. It's not reinventing the wheel, but it seems like it's kind of a modern one-stop shop solution to it. I don't know if you guys have any opinions on this, but I thought I'd throw it in here.
So having owned a food delivery company where outbound sales is a massive part of it, I was very intrigued by this. We tried a bunch of different outbound call systems. And I think what this software is like the pinnacle of, like a great case study of, is how do you reduce clicks and how do you just keep something super simple? So basically, if I understood this correctly, like for people listening, you just import 100 contacts that you want to call, and it basically starts a timer, and it's like a minute per call. So it makes the call, and when the call ends, it basically starts like a 30-second timer, and you just have to like make all your notes in that 30 seconds and whatever, and it's automatically going to start the next call like right away. So what I think is brilliant about that is it gives the salesperson a scoreboard, like they're seeing a timer. It's going to make them significantly more efficient, and it's reducing a lot of clicks for them as well. So this is a good case study of like simple and good UI.
My hot take. Here's number 2. Here we go. Okay. Is that 100% solves the problem of companies trying to sell. But the better this technology gets, the more you're essentially just killing your market of people you're actually trying to reach. Everyone knows that like everyone just gets so much spam. The more of these dialer systems there are, the more mom and pop shops are just going to be so inundated with calls that they will stop answering all of them. And it's this like prisoner dilemma of like, if you're first to being the best, you're going to be able to get that sweet margin of all these new sales. But quickly, I think just the consumer behavior will rapidly turn very sour towards just any cold calls, especially as it becomes more obvious that you're using things like these tools. So I feel like enjoy while you have it until people stop answering their phones. And then later on, Apple is just going to introduce a feature where it's like, unless your friends are friends of friends, they're just going to not even let you call. That's my
interesting
little finger in the wind for the next 5 years.
So I would say to that, so definitely like a good point, but all I would say is most decision makers in a business are very busy people. And like the strongest attribute any salesperson can have is just straight up persistence, because most decision makers, like at least in food delivery, when we're trying, this is a very specific case, but you're trying to call restaurant owners, right? Who are just incredibly busy people. And the number one metric for getting success was just simply how many calls you made to them, because you just keep hitting them up. Maybe you got them at a bad time of the day. You just keep calling, and eventually you're going to get a yes. Because again, you guys have a lot on your plates, and you probably get definitely a lot of sales coming to you. But honestly, like the one that's the most persistent is generally the one that's going to have the highest likelihood, which I think this promotes really well. So that would be my spin zone on that. But I totally get what you're saying as well.
So spin. Sounds like an opportunity here is then to create an app for the restaurants to field all these inbound calls and triage only the best.
Honestly, like 5 years ago, that would have been a great idea, because that actually would have been a good idea.
Yeah.
I'll let you guys battle this afterwards.
Yeah.
Hop right into Snap Retail.
Ooh.
Give me a sec here. All right. Snap Retail, automated convenience store manager, essentially. They're automating the work that goes behind the scenes at convenience stores in Pakistan. I have a couple small quotes here. One that was quite surprising. There's 900,000 grocery retailers in Pakistan. It's a lot more than I thought. I know that's more than here in the US, I believe, if not relatively about the same. And I was really curious, like, what exactly do they do? The biggest quote I got, or I guess the biggest insight I got was, to gain insights out of sales data, create forecasts, improve financial management, manage inventory, and more. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting that they were saying that most businesses, convenience stores or grocery stores in Pakistan, still run on pen and paper. And so one of the major problems they're having is there's a few large players who have adopted technology and are very, very quickly overtaking regions, and really removing most of these mom and pop places. And so Snap Retail is coming in to try to save some of the smaller mom and pops and give them the same technology that the larger ones have. And so yeah, it's a good time for them to make it happen. What do you guys think?
Logan, you first? Should I take the first
Yeah,
take?
sure. This, if I understood it correctly, this reminded me a lot of the early days of Toast, where Toast started with mom and pop companies essentially, and their big selling point was no upfront costs. It's a subscription model, and you're going to get access to software that the larger companies that have to pay these egregious upfront fees to implement the software are able to afford. So that, I saw a lot of similarities there. So it'd be interesting to see over the next like 5-10 years, do they follow the same path as Toast, or and like expand outside of that or not?
100%.
I assume. I mean, when I thought that's the same thing. When I read this, it just kind of struck me as this is just a Toast going into a different region, right? It's like it really is a similar play, and this kind of thing happens in all sorts of markets. It's just take a technology that's been done usually in the U.S. or Europe and bring it somewhere else. And so that's kind of what I saw here. And people, the founders of Snap Retail are local to Pakistan, and so they know the market way more than a Toast would. So them kind of going in and understanding the landscape is going to help them own this market.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's obvious in a way that it's a proven model, and so really great for them to being the right people to execute on this. I think I'm just mostly excited about the second order effects of what happens when a local mom and pop gets digitized. It's not just that they have like better analytics, but then people can build marketplaces on top of them and be like, this is go local, right? And then that you can now shop all, was it like 50% of, they said like Pakistan's grocery volume is through these sort of corner store bodega concepts. So
I think they said 50% was through like 300,000 of these mom and pop groceries, something like that.
It's just awesome. And I think it's just gonna get more and more exciting.
Yep, agree. So we're running out of time. So I'm gonna ask you guys, what are you more interested in talking about? We got Wasia, Irene, the DocuSign Slack deal, and the Neuro Uber Eats deal. Let's pick one of those because we do have one extra thing we want to throw in at the end here. It's a Logan special.
Logan, I'll let you
anyone
pick.
Anyone have any preference here? Or you want to just roll the dice, let me go?
Jordan, I feel like we've been taking up a lot of air on this one. So let's give this one to you. Yeah.
Ooh, that's tricky. All right. Give me a second. Let me think about this. I really do like the Irene product. Yeah, I think that's the most relevant to Woeful. I'm going to go with Irene. Boom. We're going with Irene. And it's spelled Eyrene. Like an eyeball.
I'm happy you picked this one.
I think it's cool. I spent a good amount of time looking into this one, mainly because it's invested a lot into technology that we are interested in, but they're selling it. They're going to market in a totally different manner. They are allowing brands like Nestle and Coca-Cola to look into the actual grocery stores and convenience stores and see sometimes in real time how their items, how their merchandise is doing on the shelves. And so it's interesting because for us, we want to do very similar things. We want to be able to monitor the merchandise that's on the shelves, but we want to do that more for the merchant, not for the brands. And so they've adopted a couple different types of technology, and it was a little bit obscure. I wasn't really sure exactly what they did. I had to like go through Product Hunt and read a bunch of comments, but they have two real products. One is a iOS application or a phone application, mobile application that allows you to scan the shelves, and it uses computer vision to identify the items. The other is they just install cameras in the stores, and so it's just always 24/7 monitoring your shelves. And then when the people that work for the brands come into the store, they're able to have a much more efficient experience, I guess, analyzing the products on the shelves. And so for me, it's like kind of an interesting use case for this. I think it would be, personally, I think they would be way more successful doing the same exact thing, but selling it to the merchants and being able to maintain all of their inventory, all their data in real time, and then be able to use that data for syndicating out to the delivery app. So for me, I was really interested in their use case for this, but I also was very interested in the technology behind the scenes.
Yeah, I mean, not going too much. Oh, my bad, jumped the gun there. I was saying
thoughts. Give us.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think for me it was just that I think a learning for me. I don't know quite the dynamic between the merchant and the brands. Meaning, are they buddy because they're kind of codependent, right? Or are they also relatively competitors at the same time because of all these like private label brands, right? With like Whole Food, Target. What if then the merchant owns this data? What are they omitting, or what are they using to their advantage to then push certain brands out of the picture so that they can use it to win in terms of private label versus big brands like PepsiCo or what have you. So I thought that was an interesting thing that I'm sure gets really fun in the commercials conversations.
Interesting. Yeah. Could be crazy. Logan, anything from you? Otherwise, we gotta go right into the Logan special here.
Let's rip the Band-Aid off. Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. So for this finale here, for the final piece, Logan has graced us with an idea. And to be honest, Richard and I really don't know what the idea is all about. We just know it's called Sloth Tank. And so I think it's kind of like Shark Tank, but it's not.
Let me tell you.
What do we got? Yeah, give us the deets.
First, a little qualifier for the thousands of folks at home watching. This we should consider this the end of the podcast, and this is like just bonus. This is like for the YouTube clips after. Right. This is what you post on the YouTube channel after. Comment. Yeah, this is TikTok content right here.
Exactly.
All right, so basically, about an hour before this call, I was drinking a cup of coffee, and I had this idea of, hey, I got two founders of companies on the call with me today. A lot of knowledge, a lot of experience. So I should just come up with like a couple ideas here and pitch them to them and see what they think. So then I thought of Sloth Tank. So basically what Sloth Tank is I came up with 3 business ideas in about the span of 3 minutes. I'm going to elevator pitch them to you, which I have not prepared for at all. Like I'm doing it completely off the dome. And instead of on Shark Tank where you're going to invest money, instead you guys are going to say, if someone approached me with this idea, would I join this startup? That's the spin. So you're saying, is this the startup that I'm going to join? All right.
I like it.
Yeah.
So we're going to call it
Float isn't a thing, right? Presuming wall float.
Exactly. Like you're sitting at home, you got a lot of options in front of you. Is this what I want to do?
Love it.
So real quick, I'm just going to do some behind the scenes magic here.
Nice.
As everyone knows, Friday Flow is a very high production studio here. So we're just going to get a couple things ready. And all right.
I hope you're putting on a new outfit. Oh, he is putting on a new outfit. Love it.
Oh man!
All right.
Yes.
So next time we'll have some crazy music going, but and again, for everyone at home, the podcast is over. Yes. All right. Perfect. All right. So I got 3 ideas. I'm going to come to you, and I'm going to elevator pitch them, and I need to reemphasize, I have not practiced these elevator pitches at all. I barely came up with the names for these companies. So
there's names of these.
We're just going to see what happens. Yeah, and if the first one goes bad, I'll be way more nervous for the next 2. So we'll see how that goes. All right. So here we go. Number 1. Sloth, thank you for coming here today. Let me ask you guys a question. Jordan, do you have a significant other?
I do.
Richard, do you have a significant other?
I do.
Well, it's great having a significant other, but you know what's not great? Having to plan out and figure out what dates you're going to go on with your significant other. So many options. Who knows what you like? Who knows what they like? I wish someone would just pick for me. That's where my business, Date Night, comes into play. Date Night, spelled DATEKNIGHT. We are the white knight of dating. What if you could just go onto an app and it was basically Yelp for date ideas? Use some filters. I want to do something outside. I want to do something inside. I want there to be food. I want it to be activity, paid, unpaid. And it will randomly pick one for you. Sloths, having a significant other is great. Picking dates isn't. That's why we have Date Night, the white knight of dating. What do you guys think? Would you join? Let me keep going for a sec. While you think on this. So we have our app. It's like a Yelp. Eventually, you make it a subscription service. So you pay $10 a month. And then we partner with like local companies and they give us promotions. So you get discounts on dates. That's how you end up monetizing it eventually. And I just made that up like on the spot as I was.
I thought the monetization model would have been couples wanting to do double dates would have paid.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah, so Tinder. We partner with Tinder. We partner with Tinder. And when you match with someone, it sends you to Date Night and you set it up through Date Night. First date on Tinder or Bumble or whatever your preference is. So
interesting. Yes. No, I would not join.
Okay, Richard, would you join?
I don't think I'm not quite in, but I will be pitched, and I'm not completely out of the game. I'll say that. Give it.
I thought it was good. I thought it was a good pitch.
Surely.
Thank you.
As the pitch goes, I thought it was a very good pitch.
All right.
For the next pitch, are you going to change your jacket?
Yeah, I will actually. I didn't plan this, but I'm just going to go real quick. No, this is
good. Because your last one we both said no, so it's like it's got bad vibes to the jackets. Now we need a new jacket.
It's bad.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Good idea.
All
right.
Oh yeah, similar, but better vibes, more professional,
more sleek.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Sloths. Let me ask you something. Have you guys ever heard of Dollar Shave Club?
Big fan.
Yes.
What about a company like Butcher Box? You ever use that or heard of it?
I don't use it, but I've heard of it.
Okay. As I'm sure you're familiar, there are thousands of subscription services out there for products and goods. And they're fantastic because there are items that people just don't want to go through the hassle of getting every single day. So it's great to have it just shipped to you in a timely manner, recurring every month or whatever your ideal world is. You know what's not good though? If you have 10 subscription services, that means you have to have 10 logins, 10 different accounts, 10 different payment informations. What if we could take all these subscription services and put them into one place? Imagine an Expedia, but for subscription services. That's where my company, Subpal, comes into play. The subscription service that's your pal. You log on, you make one account, you can go to the clothing section and see all the different clothing ideas, MeUndies, whatever. You go to the living section, that's where your Dollar Shave Club is, or for the food section as well. But you make one account and it's basically Expedia, but for subscriptions. That's my company, Subpal.
I'm just going to be out immediately because I just don't like subscriptions. The subscriptions were cool when they came out, like getting a .club domain name was like the coolest thing ever, like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And then everyone realized that they were lingering on their credit card accounts, and they're like, "Oh shit, I'm still paying for that," and they just cancel them. I haven't joined one in a long time. I'm over it.
All right, so you're out. Okay,
I'm out.
Tough.
Logan?
Richard,
I'm in. Let me tell you why.
It just makes sense, right?
Tell you why. I want a dashboard of everything I spend my money on, and not just like Truebill, where they're just like trying to cut your subscription. So in a way, does that already exist? Kind of, but imagine a dashboard that's not just trying to save you money, really trying to say, this is your dashboard for your life.
Yes, exactly. Never leave your house again.
The only way
you never have to leave.
The only way you can view your money now is reverse chronologically in a list of unlegible transactions.
So
perfect.
Richard's only in if you pivot to what Richard said. That's not the original pitch.
Well, I would be the co-founder, right, Logan?
I'll have to walk. Can I just walk into the hall and make a call first?
Yeah, you gotta
call the investor.
Yeah.
Exactly. In the meantime,
right, let me just whisper to my person here. We have a deal.
All right.
Perfect. All right, I got one more.
Congratulations, Richard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Jordan.
Me and Richard.
Yeah.
Making Subpal. Okay.
All right, this one's for Jordan.
This is the last one. Yep. Okay. Sloths. You both look like very in-shape gentlemen. I'm sure you hit the gym a couple times a week. Looks like you know your way around a squat rack or a bench press.
I'm out.
Let me ask. You know what the worst thing is, though? You show up to the gym, you're feeling a little tired, and you forgot to take your pre-workout. Or maybe you just crushed a crazy chest day, and you're about to leave, but you got to go run an errand. So you're going to miss that 30-minute anabolic window and not get your protein in. What if you never had to worry about that again? That's where my company, Venbro, comes into play. Venbro is a vending machine for supplements where you go in, you put your shaker cup under, and you just simply tap, and the supplement comes out. In the past, a vending machine at the gym wouldn't be good because no one has their wallet with them while they're working out. But with new technologies like Apple Pay, everyone has access to payments now. So your next question, Sloth, is, wow, that sounds messy. Powder just coming out of a machine? How's that going to work? Well, that's where the Venbro patented technology comes into play. Have you guys ever used a Tide Pod before? Well, what we do is we put the powder inside a Tide Pod casing, and that way it stays compact in the machine. You put your shake under, and it just dissolves in the water. No mess, no fuss, just gains. So, Sloth, let's get shredded in money. Venbro.
I'm not out, but I'm not in yet.
Yeah. I see a franchising model with this. So like we launched San Francisco. We have like our franchisor who goes to all the different gyms, puts a vending machine in it. And then it's kind of like those coffee subscriptions where like you put the machine in an office and then they pay for the coffees. That's kind of like what we do with this company that I just made up.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. It's got legs. It's got leg days.
All right. Anyway, those are Sloths. Thank you so much for your time. I ran this over so much, but I hope for the viewers out there it was worth.
I think it was worth it. I've officially decided to not join any of the companies, but yes, I appreciate the effort.
Thank you.
If I had to join one, it would be Venbro with a few stipulations. Okay. 1, change the name. 2, never refer to the things that go into your cup as similar to Tide Pods.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And 3, if you're going to pitch this business in a suit, it has to be a sleeveless suit. Other than that, those are my 3 stipulations. Yeah, those are my 3 stipulations to join. Otherwise, I'm out.
Yeah. Okay. Harsh but fair. That's
Yes.
fair feedback. And I'm going to take that back. And when I remake my deck, thank you, Jordan, so much for the feedback. I'm going to edit my decks and be better next time. Thank you.
You got it. Well, this has been wonderful. I know we went over, but I think it was worth it. I think Sloth Tank might have to be a tradition we bring back every so often. So thank you, Logan. Much appreciated.
You're welcome.
And Logan and Richard, thank you for joining me this week on the Friday Flow. Thanks, everyone, for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Jordan, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Jordan.
You got
thank
it.
you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Richard? Yes.
And then we dance out.